Hello, I'm Andrew Pritchard, and thank you for watching today's Northeast Regional Forecast, brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. The jet stream here early on Friday. Let me go ahead and jump back here. Friday morning, we're watching a trough make its way through the northern plains, across the Great Lakes, and eventually into the Northeast region, bringing a chance of some isolated showers and storms. Also going to bring a shot of some cooler air into the Northeast region here over the weekend. By the time we get to the 16th, getting into next week, we'll watch the ridge reestablish itself across the middle part of the country, allowing heat to return to the Midwest. We will feel some of that warmth here in the Northeast, though not quite as extreme as it will be just off to our west. The next 10 days of temperature anomalies, where you see the red shading, that's where we are warmer than average. The 13th through the 18th, our next 5 days, a lot of warmth across the midsection of the country, a bit cooler across the Northeast region, although some of that warmth perhaps making its way into southern portions of the Northeast region, especially as we get into the 17th and 18th and beyond. The 19th through the 23rd, seeing some of that heat spread into the Northeast region here, though still, most intense off to the west here, but certainly seeing a few days here that are going to be warmer than normal. Over the next 2 weeks, precipitation outlook will focus on the week 1 time frame here, and it looks drier overall across the Northeast region, and that is because the precipitation opportunities that we do have here are going to be rather isolated and kind of quick hitting, one and done opportunities here, not looking for any soaking rains across the Northeast region over the next week or so. The last 72 hours of precipitation, the last 3 days, we've had a frontal boundary kind of stalled across this region with repeated rounds of showers and storms, especially from the Dakotas into the upper Midwest. That was well advertised as a corridor of heavy rain several days ago or over the last few days, and that's going to continue to make its way east across the region here and getting out of here. The last 2 days, we have seen some severe weather along that frontal boundary as well. Plenty of severe weather on the 11th across parts of the central high plains, even some wind damage reports across parts of the Northeast region. It was quiet across the Northeast yesterday, but we did have some severe weather along that frontal boundary off to the west, a couple tornadoes, some large hail, a couple damaging wind gusts here across parts of the Midwest with that frontal boundary. We'll watch for some of that severe weather across the eastern Corn Belt today, and perhaps a stray strong storm or two across the Northeast region as we get into the day on Saturday. Starting off here Friday, looking at this beautiful satellite image. I just love this stuff. I know people get really excited about hurricane imagery, but for me, sometimes it's just these mid-latitude cyclones, just our storm systems that track across the lower 48 here, and a really beautiful example of one going on right now. So the upper level low up to the north right now, we've got a cold front extending off to the south, and then isolated showers and storms found along it here early Friday morning. As we take a look underneath the radar picture here again, that circulation off to the north across the northern plains. Here is the frontal boundary with showers and storms most widespread here across parts of Iowa, getting into Michigan, across Lake Michigan, scattered in nature across central Illinois, and then extending all the way down into parts of the southern plains. So this will continue to make its way off to the east as we head through the next 24 to 48 hours. Here's the look at the frontal picture here from the National Weather Service, just setting it up. Here is that area of low pressure off to the north, the frontal boundary extending off to the south. As we look ahead, jumping all the way over here to, this would be Saturday evening, we'll finally see that front making its way through the Northeast region. We do have a quick moving system on its heels. That's what's going to be struggling for moisture here, and not anticipating any significant rain with that one as it quickly moves through on the backside. Now, your next 3 days of severe weather risks, again, very low chance that we're going to see any severe weather here across the Northeast region. Just not quite the setup that we would be looking for, but certainly as the front makes its way through on Saturday, a chance for some thunderstorms across the region. Now, here's a look at the higher resolution NAM model, its take on all of this. We'll bring it back to Friday morning here. Let's go ahead and make sure I click on the right spot. We'll pause it, take it back to Friday morning. Again, watching for those showers and storms to flare back up across parts of the eastern Corn Belt this afternoon in the form of a squall line here across parts of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. That may make its way into western portions of Pennsylvania and New York overnight tonight, though it'll likely be on a downward trend in intensity. It'll be midday Saturday into Saturday afternoon. We'll watch for perhaps that front to light back up with showers and storms across parts of the Northeast region, making its way out of here by Saturday night. Total accumulated precipitation, here's what I mean. Widely scattered, fairly light in nature, so the front does sweep across the entire region, but not everyone sees rain here. It'll be hit or miss in nature with some quick hitting downpours as the front makes its way through. The next 5 days of precipitation looks very similar. This is about it as far as significant systems making its way through over the next 5 days or so. We'll watch for another storm system to develop across the northern plains, taking a similar path to this one later next week in the Thursday, Friday, Saturday timeframe. Total accumulated precipitation from the National Blended Model. This will show out once again the next 10 days. And there you saw it. Let me play it one more time for you. Quiet over the next 5 days or so. There you see the first front. It's quiet. Not until late next week do we see another storm system kind of take that same path through the region. Another thing I wanted to show, the dew point temperatures. This front makes its way through. There you see it, but it does stall right there. And then on the back side, you've already got moisture rebuilding back into the region. This is that ridge reestablishing itself, letting summer retake control over the Midwest, that warm, humid air mass quickly following in. So this is not a front that's going to pass through here Friday and Saturday and kind of change things. We'll see this heat and humidity retake things over the eastern two-thirds of the country. That is, again, because that ridge reestablishes itself. Here's the jet stream by Tuesday of next week. Very similar look to what we've seen here over the last few days. Let me go ahead and take it back here. Here's the system making its way through right now, the ridge out ahead of it, allowing a little bit of warmth into the region. This little upper level wave, it makes its way through here as we get into the weekend, and then again, by Monday and Tuesday, that ridge has reestablished itself, and we'll be watching for this next system organizing off to the west to come through again late next week. The GFS precipitation forecast, this will just kind of drive it all home. We watch this storm system right now making its way across the region here Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday getting out of here. We'll keep this going into next week. You see it is rather quiet. We got high pressure moving in on the back side, and then it's as we get into mid to late next week, Wednesday and Thursday, watching for another storm system to begin organizing across the northern plains. Day by day precipitation here from the GFS model. Once again, taking a look at Friday again, perhaps seeing some of those storms move into western portions of Pennsylvania and New York late tonight. More likely going to be Saturday that we see that light precipitation, those scattered showers and storms along the front. Quieting down for the day on Sunday, maybe a light shower or two making its way through northern portions here with a quick moving system on the heels of this bigger system here on Saturday. Getting into Monday, dry as we head into next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It wouldn't be until Friday or Saturday potentially that we should see our next significant chance of rain. So really a dry forecast overall across the Northeast region, save for this frontal boundary making its way through Saturday and Sunday. Your temperature anomalies, take this and play it out for the next week. You're going to see a lot of red, a lot of warmth across a big chunk of the country, although we still do get some easterly flow bringing in cooler temperatures, especially to northern portions of the Northeast region as we get into the early portions of next week. But by the time we get to mid to late next week, really watching this ridge allow heat to build and spread across the eastern two-thirds of the country. So a warm mid-September across a big chunk of the country. Your next 5 days of high temperatures, cooler on the backside of this front here. You see the cool air making its way in for the day on Friday, already dealing with some cooler temperatures though across the Northeast region, highs in the 50s and 60s for the day today. 50s and 70s for the day on Saturday, warming up as we head into early parts of next week. Sunday, here's Monday, and then Tuesday, you're seeing the warmth though really beginning to build across the midsection of the country. As we get beyond this into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, seeing some of that expand into the Northeast region. As always, Eric Snodgrass will have an in-depth look at the evolution of the next 1 to 2 weeks in our Monday morning ag forecast video, and I'll be back to talk about the Northeast region on Tuesday morning. Have a great day and have a wonderful weekend.